Hello and welcome to Squabble, a noisy quarrel about something petty or trivial. Hello, and I'm your host, Carter.
And I am also your host, Jacob.
Yeah, and this episode that we have brought for you today is a little more serious than our usual episodes, wouldn't you say, Jacob?
Yeah, I would say it's a little more serious, but at the same time, it's also about seeing into the future.
It's something that's like serious, but
it's
not...
one of those hypothetical moral dilemmas, you know? So
it's
got some very serious elements, but at the same time, it's something, hopefully, that we'll never have to face with actual consequences, you know?
Agreed. And
that we'll never have to face in the real life.
Yep, I think that you summed it up perfectly. And that thing that we're discussing is based. We were kind of inspired. By
it's been in a lot of popular media.
Yeah. What would you call it? This dilemma. Moral dilemma. You've probably heard it in Marvel's Civil War #2.
The comic books. There's no movies of it.
The comic books and Minority Report.
The Minority
movie
Report,
by Steven Spielberg. Basically,
I think it was also a book, or it was a short story or something before.
Yeah, it was a short story. And here's the premise. We'll give you the premise, and then we'll argue our sides. If a person could predict the future, specifically predicting when a murder was going to happen and who the murderer will be, is it just to arrest them before they commit the crime? Additionally, the prediction is always 100% accurate. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
So basically, if somebody could tell the future, specifically about crimes or
specifically murder, really.
If I could tell the future and I could say, Jacob, in a year and a half, exactly on a Tuesday at 2000, what is it? That's like military time, right? 2800.
Yeah,
is that?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think it goes to 28. It goes to 24.
Oh, really? 20. I guess that makes sense. Anyway,
24 hours
at
a day.
2 p.m.
You're
going to murder somebody. I could go arrest you, or a police officer could arrest you before you commit the crime.
See, but my stance would be you can't arrest. Well, I guess if it's me in this instance, I'd say you can't arrest me because I haven't committed the crime yet. That's where I stand. Right. So basically, it's if you know that someone's going to commit a crime, but they haven't yet, can you arrest them for it? Can you punish them for it before they've committed it? Even if you know they're going to.
Exactly.
Even if they haven't planned it yet or anything, they haven't even thought about it, but you know 100% that they're going to commit it. Can you arrest them for it? I say you can't.
And my stance is, as they do, as you know, this squabble works, I am against that. I hope to be taking the opposite, which I actually do believe.
Yeah, I actually believe in this one too.
Yeah, so we are actually on different sides, and because you have to, if you know someone's going to murder somebody else, there's a moral stance you have to take, and that stance is you have to arrest that person.
Okay,
you cannot willingly let a murderer be free, right?
Okay, well, I'll get into the alternative routes of going about this in a different way, but for now I'm just saying you can't punish someone for something they haven't done. Isn't that also unjust to take away somebody's human rights and putting them in a jail cell for the rest of, possibly for the rest of their life for something that they hadn't even thought about yet? You know, imagine how terrible that would be.
So you're saying they're innocent until proven guilty?
And it's exactly innocent until proven guilty.
Well, if you know the future, then you are proven guilty. If I know you're going to do it, right?
No, I don't think that's adequate proof. I actually have probable cause. This is the definition of probable cause right here. Or it's like this is what probable cause is. Probable cause for arrest exists when facts and circumstances within a police officer's knowledge would lead a reasonable person to believe that the suspect has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a crime. Probable cause must come from specific facts and circumstances rather than simply from a hunch or suspicion.
Well, I'm getting a lot of texts here. Yeah, exactly. You described basically...
Is seeing the future not simply a hunch or suspicion?
Well, as we stated, it's 100. The future, this person who can predict the future or can predict these crimes is always 100% accurate. So that would at that point be a fact.
Okay. Also, here's another thing about probable cause. Probable cause means that they are committing, or about to commit. So would you say that falls into about to commit crime?
I would.
Let's say in your case, you said a year from now. You specifically for me, you said a year and a half.
In this scenario that you are about to murder someone.
Let's say a year and a half. I had not even thought about it. That person that was going to be arrested, that was going to commit a crime, a year and a half from now, hasn't even. They're living their best life. They are a great person. They've never hurt a fly. They never even think about it. They're doing great things. Like you can't go up to that person and say, look, you're going to murder somebody, so I'm going to throw you in a jail cell for years, taking away your rights.
But you can, because they are going to be a murderer.
Well, let's say, okay, so you believe that is the way. Like if put them in jail.
Yes, if you.
Okay,
exactly.
I have an alternate. Let's say I have an alternate. Tell me why you wouldn't do this instead. I'll just say this.
Okay.
Let's say you can go to that person. You know they're going to do it at, let's say, this person's house. So you go to the person that this person is going to kill. You go to the victim's house, you take them and you put them in a hiding spot, or you put guards at their house, or you let this person know. Or you go to the person that's supposedly going to commit the crime. You go to them and say, hey, look, sir, this is what's happening. We're going to have to apprehend you only until after the time it said you were going to murder, so as to make sure that you don't do this, and then we'll let you go. Or on this day, we're going to go find you and we're going to take you in just for this week, or even like a couple weeks after what it is, to make sure, and then we let you go. What's wrong with that? Why do we have to say someone is guilty for something they haven't done?
Well,
instead of just taking...
so what you're saying is people are still arrested for attempted murder, you know?
Yeah, but this isn't even attempted murder.
Well, it is. Let's say you hide the victim. Okay, well, that person, the murderer or the soon-to-be murderer, is going to go to that person's house
maybe
to try to kill them,
what if,
and then boom, attempted murder, arrest them.
Okay, maybe that. But what if we what about the other thing? What if you went to the person who was going to, they hadn't even thought about it yet. You went the week before, they weren't even thinking about it, and you said, hey, look, sir, we're going to have to maybe let you see a therapist. Maybe we're going to keep you locked up until this, and then we're going to keep you watched for a few weeks. We're going to make sure you get the help you need. Instead of just throwing them in jail for something they haven't done.
Okay, you're saying that. The premise though is to arrest them. So you're just arresting them, but not arresting them forever. You're just shortening their sentence, but you still think that they should be apprehended by the police.
I think that they should be guarded, but I don't think they should be. But there's a big difference. When you're arrested, that's not just, oh, you have to go sit in timeout for this long. When you're arrested, after that, your rights are taken away. There's like certain, you can't vote. I think that's right? After you've been to prison, you can't vote. I'm not sure. There's something, I know that there's like certain things you can't do. You have rights restricted from you.
True.
Like even like looking for jobs, you can't do that. I don't think it goes on your record, you know? I think if you haven't done it and you were taken away just protected, then I don't think that shouldn't go on your record. Because you weren't planning that. That wasn't and even if, let's say we knew it was going to happen, for some reason we can't do what I proposed, they still, unless you see them in the act or you see them planning it, even if you know they're going to do it, I still don't think you can. Morally, you can't put something away for someone they haven't done. That's what a presumption of innocence is. That's how the government, are you disagreeing with ours? Do you think that if someone's like a citizen arrest or something like that and they haven't gone to court yet, even if it's something, not murder, but like you think they stole something, but we're not 100% sure. They haven't gotten a lawyer. The other person hasn't gotten a lawyer. Haven't gone to a judge. You think that person should just be
automatically arrested?
Yeah, automatically put in jail.
They should obviously go about the court
because
law
they are not
system.
They have not been proven guilty.
Okay, but that's
I don't think this person seeing the future counts as being proven guilty. You don't think that's
proof, even though it's 100% accurate?
I think this is how it works. Like,
can I give you a quote from a movie?
I know what it is.
Okay, this is a quote from Minority Report, a movie we recently watched, which inspired us to do this episode. And in the movie, the same scenario takes place. Two sides of the argument, and this is a conversation that two guys have. One guy's against it, one guy's for it. This guy, Officer John, he rolls a ball across the table. It's about to fall off the edge. It falls off the edge, but suddenly the other character intercepts it and catches it right before it hits the ground.
You want me to read the other guy's part?
Yeah, you can read the other guy's part. Officer says, Why'd you catch that?
Danny, what does that say? The other
can just
character in
say
the
Danny.
movie. He says, because it was going to fall.
You're certain?
Yeah.
But it didn't fall. You caught it. The fact that you prevented it from happening doesn't change the fact it was going to happen. And that's where my stance is as well. Because just because you prevented this murder doesn't mean that it wasn't going to happen.
Okay,
doesn't mean that person is not a murderer.
But that's not, let's say, okay, so you threw the ball, it's rolling across the table, and then you catch it before it hits the ground. That's
Sure.
different than what the police are doing. The police are in the pre-crime. They're called the pre-police or whatever. It's like pre-crime. They go before the crime was committed and arrest people, you know? So like what those people are doing, they're going like before, that would be like going to him and taking the ball out of his hand before he even threw it across the table. I mean, I know that's going really back, but that's what they're doing. Before these people have even thought about committing the crimes. We saw in the movie, there's this one guy in the very opening scene. He's having a great day. He's staying home with his family, and then he finds out his wife is cheating on him. And in like a split minute, like moments before, it was just a strictly like anger fueled like patch of angerness.
It was a spur
and
of
he
the
murdered
moment
her.
murder.
Yeah, it was so quick, and he was going to murder her, and they stopped it. But like all before that, they could have seen that was happening a week before and arrested him, and he had not even thought about it. In fact, he's great. He was an upstanding citizen.
But
He was doing great. So that's like going before like your ball thing. He throws the ball, you catch it. That would be like him going and taking the ball out of the dude's hand before he even rolls it across the table.
But the fact that he has the ball makes him. This is like getting into
because
super metaphorical here. But look, my stance is so. Jacob, would you ever kill somebody?
No.
Right.
Well, maybe.
And most people in the world.
I don't plan on it. I'll say that.
Yeah, and the majority of the population is not going to murder somebody.
Yes.
That's a fact. Okay.
Yes. I think that was.
There are a lot of murderers out there.
Yeah.
However, the majority of the world are not murderers.
Yes.
But if there was a room full of people and one guy is a murderer or would be a murderer, is planning to be a murderer, even if he's planning it years out, that guy, in my opinion, should be arrested because murder is wrong by law. And even if he's planning to murder years away, even if he just got back from the animal shelter and he's just a real great guy and he was donating to children's hospitals, but then he decides that he's going to murder
Why was he
somebody.
at the animal shelter? What did that have to do with it?
Well, he's just a volunteer. You know?
Okay.
He's just a really great guy. But then he plans to murder some guy who like ticked him off a while back. He's just angry at this guy, so he's going to murder him in a couple years. No matter how great of a guy he is, he's a murderer. And I think he should go to jail for it.
He's not yet. He has done nothing. You said he had thought about it. Maybe in that one he was planning it. So yeah, I guess that would be probable cause. But for the ones where people haven't even thought about it, like you said, 2 years from now, you can't arrest that guy. He has done nothing. He's not even guilty of having the hate in his heart.
So
he's not guilty.
So you're saying that
he's done nothing wrong.
So you're saying there's a difference between planning a murder, like premeditated murder, I guess, and instant, like emotionally driven anger.
Yes.
And like the example you used, he walks inside his house, finds out his wife's cheating on him.
Yeah.
He gets super mad.
It
pulls out he had like scissors that were near him and killed the guy who was cheating with his wife. So you're saying that's different from the guy who has been planning this super elaborate murder scheme.
Yeah.
For the past couple
obviously
years.
that guy who's been planning it, even if we didn't have the predicting the future and someone found out about that, that's reason and that's probable cause. That's reason enough to arrest him because that's attempted murder.
So wait, you're saying that this other guy who spur of the moment decided he was going to kill somebody because his wife was cheating. You're saying that guy is less of a murderer than the other guy?
I'm saying that we're all messed up as human beings. You admit
Agreed.
that. We all have it in us, whether you think you do or not. Every person has it in them to kill somebody else.
I
You could
can agree
snap
with
in
that.
a moment's notice and murder.
But that doesn't
multiple
make
people.
it right.
No, but does that mean we should go arrest everybody? Because every single person in us has probably committed a crime too.
Okay.
You've probably trespassed. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I know I
okay, I
have.
can give that to
We've
you.
all committed some crime. We've all done something
Jaywalked.
wrong. does that mean the government should send us all bills right now and go, look, chances are you're going to commit a minor crime in your life.
No, but it's
so
not
we're gonna
chances, and that's where I draw the line.
No, that is
it's
the
not,
chances. Chances are everyone in the world is going to do something wrong.
Okay, sure, but
does that mean the government should start sending out bills and stuff and fines saying, listen, chances are you're gonna get a speeding ticket in your life, so we're just gonna go ahead and let you pay this $500 fine.
That's how I got to interrupt you.
Insurance.
That's where I draw the line, though, because it's not chances are you're going to murder. It's predicting the future 100% accurately. You're gonna get mad because your wife cheated on you. Your emotions are gonna blow out the top of your head. You're gonna grab scissors and you're gonna murder a guy.
No, chances are I'm not.
No.
Oh, wait,
no, not chances. It's 100% accurate that they can tell the future.
Yes.
You're gonna have a breakdown. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's a weak point in your life, and you're going to attempt to murder a guy, just because it was human nature, just because you're mad, just because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, doesn't negate the fact that you are going to kill that person. That is wrong, and you are a murderer.
No.
So, yeah.
No. Okay. Listen, let's say this whole pre-crime thing, you see it happen, you go to the guy's house, and you see through the window, this is kind of like how this scene went. You see through the window that this guy is going to, you see him pick up the scissors, and you see him like having a mental breakdown with scissors in his hand. That is probable cause, okay? You run in there, you arrest the guy. But if you just go the day before and he's just having a grand old time, you can't do that. You can't go to the guy and immediately arrest him without helping him, without letting him seek help, without trying to stop the ordeal from happening completely. You can't go to a guy that hasn't even thought about doing anything wrong and saying, "Sorry, dude, we're gonna have to strip away your rights from you because we think you're gonna do something bad."
I think we're talking in a circle here, and I don't think either of us are gonna change our mind on that aspect of it.
Okay.
You wanna?
Yeah. Do you have another argument?
I do. I have a very, very good argument.
Okay.
I think. Well, first of all, my first argument strikes at the moral dilemma. Strikes at your personal moral standards.
Yes.
Okay. By not arresting the will-be murderer, you're condemning the victim to death. You have your hands in that person's death if you decide not to stop, not stop the murder. Because if you say, wait, let me use this example again. This guy grabs the scissors. By not arresting him, you are even if you might be able to like break in right at the last second and save somebody. By not arresting him days or weeks or even right before you figure out that he's going to murder, you are willingly putting that victim in death's door. You're willingly putting that victim's life in the hands of that guy who you know is going to attempt murder.
Okay. How about this? I would imagine you'd think it's wrong to jail an innocent person who to pretty much ruin their life. If you put someone in jail for murder for multiple years, that's pretty much their life is gonna be on hold for years.
Yeah.
If you arrest someone before they've even thought about doing a crime, is that not arresting an innocent person? They're not guilty anymore. They never will be guilty because they were in jail before you've done it. Therefore, you've put an innocent person in jail for tens of years.
But they were gonna kill him.
No, but they didn't. If you put it in before they've even thought about it, before they've even thought about it, then they aren't guilty. They never will be guilty, and they're in jail for absolutely nothing.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're proposing that you should arrest the person, okay, but not arrest them, but not, I guess, condemn them to life in prison. You think that there should be. That you should arrest them is because this is what you're saying. You're saying the police should intervene in that person's life, but the consequences shouldn't be as strong as somebody who had already murdered them. But you are admitting that government should intervene in this person's life because of this future foretelling that he's going to murder.
Only at a very last minute. Like you gave an example of 2 years. You can't go 2 years before this guy's thought about it and say, hey, you're going to commit a murder in 2 years. You can't do that.
So what?
Let's say it's the next day. Yeah, I'd say you could go like in that scene we saw the pre-crime people. They went to the guy's house that was going to kill his wife or whatever, and they watched his house. And then once they saw him do that, they ran into his house and and arrested him before he did it.
That is so risky.
That's fine. But
Okay, let me ask
but
you
that's
a different
acceptable
question.
because that's the only time he had thought about it.
Let me ask you this. If you were to ask the victim, would the victim say, sure, I'll stay in this house. You can arrest him the day of? I don't think so. I think that victim would want that guy arrested as soon as possible. And that
okay, but
right
what if
there,
what if you were to ask the guy that was going to murder someone the day before and go, hey, you're going to murder somebody? You think obviously he's not going to go, oh, okay, for the better interest, I'll do it. No, he's going to say, no, I'm not. I'm a great person, and you can't do that.
But you can't. Well, of course, but you can't take the criminals.
Both of those people, we can't use either of these arguments technically because both these people are obviously going to have their best interest in mind.
True.
They're not going to be thinking about moral dilemmas or like, maybe I should, maybe we can't. Oh gosh, I just pulled my mic out. Is it back?
I don't know.
Hello.
I hope that didn't
Technical
blow out.
difficulties.
Okay, we're still recording. I heard a little screech.
I can't hear me anymore, so
we'll just pause this.
Yeah. This cord's annoying.
Can you hear yourself now?
No. Can you hear you?
I can hear you and me.
Well, I guess we're still going then.
You wanna go dry?
Sure. Yeah, we're still going. Wait, you stop talking. See if it's picking me up. La 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 la. Yeah, it's picking me up.
Okay. So you just want to go raw here?
Sure. Sorry, folks. We're going raw.
So where was I?
Where were we?
I think we pretty much. I'll just go on to my next argument.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah.
Because I think we were getting close to wrapping that up because I don't think. Yeah. So here's my next argument.
Okay.
Did you know that it's illegal for an officer of the law not to do anything if he suspects criminal activity?
Yeah, that makes sense.
If an officer suspects or thinks or has evidence or even proof, like, I don't know, a prediction of the future.
Like he saw a videotape
Sure.
of someone committing a crime.
Yeah. Or if, that officer can't not arrest somebody or can't not do, if they just leave
They can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. If they are charged, they have to do something. So if
As
an
they
officer gets news that this person is going to murder somebody else, that officer legally, and I say morally, cannot do nothing. They have to arrest that person.
I agree, but why does it have to be an arrest? Why can't there something be to file it away and say, okay, on this day we're gonna have people stationed there. We're gonna intervene, but we can't go to this guy before he's even thought about it.
You're bringing up the same
because
argument as
you've yet to refute it.
Yeah. Well, this is my here's my stance.
Okay.
And I want you, and I think honestly you might agree with me. I think that first of all, an arrest, from what I can take, maybe you can look up define arrest. But arrest, you can arrest. You're proposing the police arrest somebody, just not necessarily as seize someone by legal authority and take into custody. So that's what you're proposing as well. Am I wrong? You're just saying not as an extreme extent.
We cannot punish them. I'll say that.
Okay, but you think that you should arrest them.
I suppose they can be arrested.
There you go. So you are admitting to arrest before the crime.
No, I'm admitting to arrest once the crime has been conceived.
What?
Yeah, listen. Yeah, you are saying that we should the whole 2 years before. You can't arrest that. You cannot arrest it until you know that the person committing the crime has thought about it and for real considered it. You can't do it. If you can't do it unless you know that this person has said, I'm going to do this. Once they've made that decision, then you can. But until they've not even thought about it,
well, what if
you can't do it? So you can't even intervene.
So let me get this straight. You think if somebody premeditated murder, said if it was let's say a week out, wanted to murder somebody, was planning it, you think it's okay to arrest them for murder?
Yes, but we already do that. We do that in the real world. If we know someone's planning a murder, we arrest them
for attempted murder. I think.
Yeah, we arrest them.
I'm saying arrest them for murder.
I'm pretty sure those are pretty close.
Okay. So how about
convictions?
So you agree with me on that?
If they are planning it, then yes, you can arrest them.
Premeditated.
Which is just real right now.
What if? So now this is where we differ. You think that if it's spur of the moment murder, even if like they haven't thought about it until minutes before, you think it is not. You think they should not be arrested. You should let them wait. So you think you should intervene as they are trying to kill that person?
Yeah, you can set watch, but you can't do it unless they
that is so risky.
You have probable
what if
cause.
your police you're risking that victim's life?
Yes,
You're risking an
I'm
innocent
okay with
person.
that because I'm not. You can't arrest someone that hasn't done anything
Their
wrong.
blood is on your hands.
No, they've yet to do anything wrong. They literally you are proposing arresting innocent people because they might do something.
No,
100%.
Okay,
because they are going to do something.
Yes.
Okay, no, you can't. That's just stupid. That's where this is boiled down to this. And I think every argument eventually you can get down to where there's one thing that separates all why you disagree. I think for every argument ever, two people agree about the same thing. It all boils down to one thing that they disagree on. And I think that's where this is. Like, we can't break it. We've broken it down as far as possible.
Okay,
you can't arrest someone for something they're going to do, and you think you can. And that's...
But by law, as this
yes,
first
by
argument,
law,
it's illegal for an
intervene.
officer not to do anything.
Yeah.
So
they're
if
doing
he
something.
finds out that person's going to murder, even if it's spur of the moment, in a few weeks, that officer has to do something.
Yeah, he is doing something. They're going to make sure that there's people watching. We just said that.
Which, in my opinion, is risky in putting the victim's life in.
But you're also putting
danger.
the innocent person at risk of going to jail for nothing.
I don't think we're going to come to an agreement here because I think that that you should put a victim's best interest in front of the murderers. You obviously disagree.
You are.
Should be.
I'm saying you shouldn't put a potential victim's life in front of an innocent person's well-being.
It's 100% accurate.
No, okay, so we all know Carter wants to start having the government billing people for crimes they might commit.
When there's a fortune teller who
That's
can
like
100% accurately.
I've figured it out. It's like a dictatorship that Carter's proposing. Let's enslave everybody because everybody's bad at heart.
No, dude.
We're all terrible people, so let's just arrest us all.
Okay, well, did you know that there is a law in some states? It's called failure to report a crime, and even citizens, it's illegal for citizens to do nothing if he or she suspects criminal activity. So,
well, under the UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights, under the presumption of innocence, the legal burden of proof is on prosecution, which must collect and present compelling evidence to the trier of fact.
That made no
which
sense.
is a judge. Yeah.
Okay, explain that.
It basically means you have to have evidence presented to a judge that they are doing it. That
they freaking know the future. That's evidence enough.
But they haven't, not yet.
Oh my gosh. So I guess we have, I think, the same standards when it comes to like, well, I don't know. I guess because I think that you don't think you think the future could be changed.
Yes, that's
but
where.
What if it's 100% accurate?
The time. Okay, so then even if we arrest them, if it's 100% accurate every time, then arresting's not going to do anything, and somehow they're going to murder that person. You just destroyed your own argument.
That's steep, but you also destroyed your own argument.
Both of our arguments are destroyed. Nothing we can intervene will stop it if that's the future. If the future can't be changed.
No, because just like Officer John here said, he rolled the ball across the table. The ball was going to hit the ground, but you intercepted it and caught the ball.
So you think
that
the
doesn't
future
change
can
the
change?
fact that. Well, it doesn't. Yes, it can change, but it doesn't change
then
the fact that ball was going to hit the ground.
What if you don't even need to intervene and the guy changes his mind?
No, gravity is the murder. Okay,
it's a law.
It's pulling the ball down.
Okay, what about space? There's always exceptions. What about
wait.
G-forces?
Oh.
G-forces in planes. It makes it seem like there's anti-gravity. There's always exceptions. To every law in the universe, there's exceptions.
I don't know. I think that you should be able to arrest that person because, okay, you want me to bring the Bible into this again? I love bringing the Bible into things like this.
Okay.
Hate is is committing murder in your heart.
Okay, but
not that I don't think you should arrest people for hating other people. Don't get me wrong, but Are you?
But wait, is that not the same thing? Why not? Let's be real here. Why not?
Let's be real.
If you honestly believe for your religious beliefs, which obviously your religious beliefs don't run the country, but let's say they did. So if you were in charge, you would propose that hating someone should be jailed or fined. Why not?
I'd have to think about that, but no, I don't think so.
Okay,
right
but
now.
you think that people, but if you genuinely believe that hating someone is as bad as murder, then why not?
I don't think it's as bad as, well, I guess, okay, if we're getting super biblical here.
Okay. Why not? We've gotten this far.
What, in that scripture, what I'm pretty sure, I hate to like speak on
we'll get
scripture.
Into this. No one take whatever we say anytime with a grain of salt.
2 grains of salt.
1.5.
Okay, sure. 1 1/4.
1 1/4. That's less than a half.
What?
1/4.
Actually, I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to be blasphemous. Or
okay. Anyways, that was off. That was a train wreck.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah. I think,
did you know that in many states, presumption of innocence is a legal right of the accused in a criminal trial? So you have to be able to. In some states, it's lawfully required that you are innocent until proven guilty.
But okay, see, that's where we differ, because you're saying that the 100% accurate prediction of the future is not proof that they are guilty. But in my opinion, it's not an opinion, it's truth. He is guilty if it is 100% accurate. That it's like, yes, okay, look, it's like if you have a bunch of wooden balls, okay, and they're all rolling down a table, okay, and they all fall off the table, they all hit the ground. You do that 1 million times, okay? That's a fact now.
Yes.
That's how science works, okay? Now
Yeah.
it's a fact that the balls are going to roll down the table, hit the floor. Okay?
So you're saying we should get rid of all balls
No,
to
now,
prevent them from hitting the ground?
Now you get a guy to stand on the end of each of those tables. You roll the balls down, they all catch the ball. So you do that a million times too.
But that's because you know.
Sure. Exactly.
But that's because the balls are going to.
Because it's
Because
fact.
of the wonderful things he
It's
does.
fact. And you're saying that this 100% accurate prediction of the future isn't fact, but it is.
It is fact, but
And
is still...
okay, you said it's fact. Let me continue. And you just said from your own mouth that there has to be facts presented to arrest that person. And boom, you admit that the 100% accurate prediction is a fact. That person is, by legal authority,
Okay, but your logic still doesn't make sense, because it is fact that most of America is going to commit a crime. So why don't act on that?
No.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
It is fact that most of everybody in the United States, I'm fairly certain, has broken a law of some sort.
Okay, first of all, we talked about murder. If you go back to the premise, quote, specifically predicting a murder.
That doesn't mean we can't talk about other things.
Okay,
That logic just doesn't make sense there. To arrest everyone before they've even thought about committing a murder, why not go through with everything and give everyone a speeding ticket? I don't drive yet, but chances are when I drive, throughout my many years of driving, chances are I'm going to commit
I'll say this.
I'm going to speed.
I'll say that's true, and I'll say human lives are I think are I don't think I know are more important than, say, a jaywalking or a speeding ticket or even robbing $1 million from the bank. Okay, I'd rather prioritize stopping murderers, right?
Okay.
But if you're saying to take this to the extreme, you'd have to arrest people for jaywalking, speeding, trespassing, yelling Arkansas instead of Arkansas, because apparently that was a law once. Then yeah, I think you should take it to the extreme.
Okay.
Because not only, because that person is breaking the law.
Yeah.
And they know they're breaking the law. So there you go. It'll stop people from breaking the law.
Yeah. So why don't you do that then? Because you can't do that. You can't, because none of those people have done it yet. And also, I'm going to go back to this because I feel like this is a big point in my favor. I feel like we kind of just glazed over it. If you arrest those people before you do the crime, they are now innocent and you've arrested them for nothing because they didn't commit the crime.
That's not true.
Yes. Before they've even thought about it, if you arrest somebody, they then become innocent from the crime because they aren't going to do it anymore. It's a paradox. It's like, I know this is going to sound really silly comparing this to that, but have you seen that meme? It's like Pinocchio, and he says his nose will grow if he says that phrase, my nose will grow, and it does, then he's telling the truth and it has no reason to grow. But if it doesn't grow, then it's a lie, which should cause his nose to grow. That's what this is. It's
wow, that's deep.
Yeah, it's a paradox. If you arrest someone for doing something and then they don't do it, then they never did it in the first place and you had no reason to arrest them.
I disagree because I think this prediction of the future, I think should be considered. You're considering it as this like supernatural force, which it is, I guess, in this scenario. But I think what it should be considered as is evidence of premeditated murder. Like if you broke into someone's house and saw their plans written out on paper. I don't know why they'd do that, but let's say they did.
Yeah.
And it was plans to kill somebody, let's say assassinate the president.
Yeah.
You would arrest them on attempted murder.
Yes.
So I'm saying to take this prediction of the future as not a supernatural, that person's going to murder somebody, oh my gosh, but instead take it as evidence that that person is a murderer and is about to assassinate the president. So if you take it as the physical evidence, if you consider it as valuable as physical evidence, which it is, if not more valuable than physical evidence, that person should be arrested for attempted murder, if not murder.
Well, I think that's where we differ, because even if it is just as important as physical evidence, I still don't think morally you could do it.
Whoa. Okay, so that means you think if you found physical evidence of someone about to assassinate the president, you would not say that person should be arrested?
No, because that's probable cause. But if they hadn't even thought about it, then no, you can't, obviously. And that's the kind of thing we're dealing with. We're not dealing with this person has been planning it. We're dealing with this person is just minding their business. All of a sudden, a SWAT team comes out of a helicopter, grabs them, throws them on the ground, says, you're under arrest for the murder of blah, 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 blah. And he doesn't even know this person. He's like, I've never heard of this person.
Well, I think we're talking
and his life
about,
is ruined.
I think we're talking about both, first of all. Both premeditated.
Well, no, I already said I'm all for the ones where what I consider probable cause, if they're premeditated it, if they're thinking about it currently, then go for it.
Okay, I think the argument is pretty blatant. Like, I think we both have presented our sides.
Yeah, I'll say that.
But you just think that there should be a time limit on how far out
I suppose
somebody should be arrested, and I just think that's ridiculous.
I just don't think you can do it unless they know themselves that they're going to.
But
because then they're innocent.
Okay, I think we're probably pretty close to being out of time.
Yeah,
this was a good discussion.
Yeah.
I think sometimes our discussions, when we do stuff like serious like this, sometimes we get pretty sweaty.
Yeah, I'm just usually sweaty because this room is always hot in front of this light.
I mean, like emotionally sweaty. I don't know.
Mentally sweaty.
But we do this.
Can
podcast.
your brain sweat?
Oh, of course. We do this podcast to, people argue these days, and nobody knows how to argue. Yeah. No one knows how to argue respectfully.
Even if it's not respectfully, people don't know how to get out of that. If you have an unrespectful argument with somebody, it somehow heats up. They don't know how to walk away from it.
Yeah,
they just hold grudges.
Jacob's argument is completely stupid, immoral, and retarded.
Same with I think his is also. Hey, don't worry to say retarded. That's offensive now.
Oh yeah. You've destroyed my train of thought. The train track was just exploded, probably by TNT that you put.
You were wrapping it up. People don't know how to have respectful arguments.
Yeah, and we think each other's stupid, but we can still have a discussion about it. We can talk.
And we're not going to hold it against each other.
Everyone's going to have different views. In America, we're able to say those views, and
that's the beauty of it. What is happening? Let's just read your outro, the one that's written down, not whatever you're saying now.
Sometimes sometimes I read something on Twitter, and I think
he's still making this up as he goes.
No, I'm not making. Well, I am making it up. You make everything up. That's called talking. But sometimes, throughout the week, I read something on Twitter or Facebook, and I just think I cannot believe that person would think that or have that point of view.
Right.
But then you got to think, you can have discussions with people. You can understand other people's point of view, no matter how absurd that it may be, and you can talk about it, and that's okay. And some people get mad at other people because they disagree, but don't get mad because they disagree. Yeah. Just try to change their mind, and if they won't change their mind,
then say,
just
well,
accept
this
that they're
person's
going
a
to
lost
think.
Cause.
Just exactly accept that they're going to think differently, and that's
I'm superior to this person.
Yeah,
think that'll help you through it.
I think I accidentally agreed to that, but I'll think that. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Do you want to read this?
Why'd you look at me?
Yeah, thanks for tuning in,
Ryder.
Jinx.
Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at
Squabble Podcast.
And we have a Patreon. Link in the description.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh my gosh. We got 2 Patreons.
2 Patreon supporters.
No, 2 patrons.
What's
what I think.
Oh, okay.
It's Patreon.
Which doesn't sound
patrons.
like a lot, but that is a lot because that's people that are actually giving us money.
Yep, we are officially professionals now.
We're getting paid for it. Yeah.
So thank you. We love you.
Yes.
And
so yeah, if you want to be in the elite club of the Squabblers,
super cool
can that
people.
what we
2
call our
of them.
fans? The Squabblers?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's good.
We'll think about it. Anyways, yeah, we do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow because it really helps us out.
It really does.
And you can also listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Thanks again.
Thanks again.
We'll snap you later.
Snap you later. Boom, baby. Episode 20 wrapped.
You're out. 20? Wow.
No, 21.
Oh.